We go.
We're ready to go. I can see your screen, so
Okay.
we're ready.
All right. Well, let's get this party started. Welcome, everybody. My name is Hope with Designs by Hope Yoder. And if we've not met before, well, hello, and thank you for joining me on a Tuesday afternoon. So what I have for you today is a PowerPoint show, and I'm going to show you a couple of things in Craft and Cut, but this time it's going to be more project related. So let's get started. If you don't already own this software program, you can pick up a copy of Craft and Cut at your local authorized Quilters Select dealer, and this is what the box looks like. It's got some stabilizer and some education in the box, so you can let me out and get started having fun. So anybody joining us a little bit later, we're working with Craft and Cut software. I wanted to point out, I'm going to direct you to this Facebook group. I started a private Facebook fan group about a month ago, and we actually have a free Sew Along with Hope going on right now, where we partnered with a machine dealer company, and they're going to be giving away a free embroidery machine. But why I wanted to point this Facebook group out is people ask me, why did you do a fan group? Why not just post it on Facebook? And that's a great question. The reason is, notice this red box, this arrow. I can put free files only on a private fan group, not on a regular Facebook page. So if you'd like to join our group and get some files from the previous webinars, I put the free files that I've designed in this fan group. I'd love to email them to each of you, but it's just not possible. So if you join, search for Designs by Hope Yoder fan group, ask to join. Once you've joined, on your computer, not on your laptop, not on a cell phone or a tablet, but on a full computer, you'll see files. And you click on that, and there's lots of free goodies that I have for you. If you would like to join me for an event using Craft and Cut software, you can go to my webpage, hopeyoder.com, and find an event near you. So this is this month's topic, hydro dipping tumblers. Are you excited? If you've been a member of my fan group, I teased you, probably about a month ago, right when we started the fan group. And Jillian and myself from the office stayed late one night, and we made some super fun, crafty projects. And I posted a couple pictures, and I still, to this day, get emails, when are you going to show us what you were doing? Well, today's the day. We're hydro dipping tumblers. So what you see on your screen here is the silver tumbler is just an inexpensive Yeti knockoff tumbler I found at my local big box store. And you can see it has a lid here. And what I like about this tumbler, if you look at the bottom, there's a little demarcation, and you can see we've left this silver, and we've hydro dipped it with paint, and I added some vinyl. So you can take your tumbler from this to this, change the colors, change the look. You know what? Father's Day is coming up in June. And if I had more time, I would have bought paint in camo colors. Wouldn't that be awesome? So let's go to the next slide. Here's a close-up. There are several different colors of paint, and you can see glitter, because what girl doesn't like a little bit of bling-a-ling? And so we used glitter on this tumbler as well. It's actually even dishwasher safe. There's vinyl, and if you can see this dimension right here, I'll tell you the secret of that later, but the vinyl looks like it's floating on top of the tumbler. So the materials and the things that you're going to need, I'll leave it here for a moment. And before we go any further, if you are furiously trying to take notes, don't worry, I'm going to post this whole PowerPoint in my fan group, in the Designs by Hope Yoder fan group. So this will be posted there, and the video will be posted on the Craft and Cut landing page and on my website, and I'll show you where those are in a moment. But the first thing that you're going to need is Craft and Cut software, a metal tumbler, spray paint in a can that you find at a hardware or craft store, such as Krylon paint. You'll want to get several different colors, plus a base coat, which would be white or a cream color. You need a digital cutter, Embroidery Perfection Tape, commonly known as EPT. You need an X-Acto knife or a box cutter. You're going to want some sticker decal vinyl such as Oracal 651, which is a permanent outdoor long-wearing vinyl. To attach the vinyl to your cup, you're going to need transfer tape such as R-Tape Clear Choice AT65. That's my favorite all-around tape. Also, you're going to want to buy some dishwasher safe Mod Podge. Mod Podge, man, that has been around since my mother used to do crafting, and they have the coolest types of Mod Podge now, including dishwasher safe. You're also going to need food grade 2-part epoxy such as Amazing Clear Cast, gloves, and a foam brush. And if you have a jacket or a large man's shirt to cover up your clothing, I'd highly recommend that as well. Go to your local hardware store and buy a 2-gallon bucket, a plastic bucket. You're going to need water, fruit disposable grocery bag. These are the little bags that you get when you buy the produce and you pull them off the roll. And so when next time you go to the grocery store, save those because you're going to need them on this project, and then some fine glitter. So there's probably 2 things you're not sure what I'm talking about: the dishwasher safe Mod Podge and the food grade epoxy. So I made a slide for you here. So dishwasher safe Mod Podge. It says dishwasher safe. Super cool. I made another project with those I hope to share with you later. The other thing is the Amazing Clear Cast. Now this is a FDA approved food grade 2-part epoxy. And that's what we're going to seal the paint on our tumbler with. And it's 2 parts, but it looks like this. Now, to use the craft and cut portion of this is super simple. So I'm going to just show you that here. But before I get started, I wanted to let you know that we're going to be using fonts. And did you know in Craft and Cut you have a lot of built-in fonts, but you're truly unlimited because you can use any type of TrueType fonts. For this word salty, I picked Lilybell, which is a free download. You can find this by searching on the web. In a moment, I'll show you that. And the technique is we're going to take the text and weld it together. So if you've not used this, I did a screen capture. Here is the button that has a lot of different features such as knockout. Knockout is right here. Anytime you see a drop-down arrow, if you click on it, a lot of hidden goodies or treasures open. And you've got all of these different options. And the black box shows you where the weld icon is. To find it, again, click on the drop-down arrow and then look for the weld. Let me stop here and we'll go to Craft and Cut. And we'll get this full screen so you can see this. So when you open Craft and Cut, for anybody who doesn't own the program yet, or you own it, but you haven't really had a lot of time to use it. Well, summer's coming. I hope you find a lot of time to sit and play. When you open the program, this is the screen that pops open. If you wanted to find some events from Floriani or R&K, you'll click here. Past webinars here, webinar schedule, what's new. If you wanted to get started with the software, I made some videos for you and you'll find them right here. Or the application videos are here. Now, one of the #1 things that I get phone calls and emails about is about support. And while my face is on the box, it's not actually my software program. So when you need support for Craft and Cut, here's how you're going to get it. Click on Support, and that will take you to Quilter Select page because Craft and Cut is a Quilter Select product. If you scroll down, you'll enter the serial number and the operating system such as Windows 10. Fill all of this out and don't forget to hit Submit. And when you do that, there's some great ladies at R&K Distributing Warehouse that would love to help you. All right, let's close this out. And I'm going to use text, and I want to create the salty text. Now, do you know what salty means? Well, let me bring this back up again. And I didn't know what it meant until my daughter actually called me salty. So salty is like she's sweet or she's salty. So if you don't have the young kids in your life, I've got an 18-year-old that graduates from high school tonight. Yay, Miss Olivia and Hannah. And Hannah is 20, and they tell me all the time, Mom, you're so salty. So salty just means maybe you have a sarcastic sense of humor. I don't know why they say that, but anyway, we thought it'd be funny to make a cup. So salty, you could obviously use any text that you wanted to. So I'm going to left click on text, and then I am going to click on the straight text. Next thing that I do is click anywhere in the white open area. And we'll change this to true type text. So here's true type built-in text. And I'm going to change this to salty. And then click apply. Now that's not going to look near as good as this. So I love that script font. So what I'm going to do is I want to change that to true type font. And so I click on true type font, and we're using Lily Bell. So I will go and find Lily Bell font. And this was a free font that I found. And let's just go online here. And if you go to the web browser, Lily Bell with an E font, and search, the font has this right here, and you can follow the directions to download the font. And this shows you all the cool characters. So I have already done that. And again, true type font, Lily Bell. Another good font would be Magnolia Sky. And that's another free font. And that was very curvy and curly, but I was really worried about the very thin areas up here. So I went back to Lily Bell. All right, Lily Bell it is. Now, I want the text to be overlapping and welded together. So again, here is my finished sample, salty, all right? And notice these aren't welded together. So the way to do that is you go under here and the drop-down arrow, but wait, it won't, nothing happens. Why is that? I get a lot of emails and a lot of questions. I'm trying to weld text like you do, but I can't. Well, when you open text, Craft and Cut views it as one object, and you can't weld one object to nothing. You have to have two separate objects. So text is always viewed as one object. To break it up so that you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects being each letter, you're simply going to select the one object, the salty text, right click, and when you right click, you'll find break up text. Now notice in this area, there's one object. If you're not sure, in the layers window, I see only one object. So I will right click, break up text. Now when we open this, we have each letter as its own object. Now I can weld them together. Notice now the drop down window is active and I can find weld. So let's go ahead and prepare these so that we can weld them. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to unfill them with color. So filled was selected. I'm going to select fill or deselect it. I just want to see salty as outlines rather than solid filled color. Now, there's no little curly Q. What I mean by curly Q is here, here, and here on the A and the S. So I'm just going to leave that like it is, or I could bring it over together. Now, it's been a while since I made this cup. Looks like I welded the S and the A, so I'll do the same thing. Next, I'm going to bring, now to weld something, if you were a welder, you would actually have to make sure not only did your objects touch, but they need to overlap. So we're going to do the same thing with these letters. Now I want to see these a little bit bigger, so I'm going to use my zoom feature, and you can see that I have all the text welded or overlapped. And if you wanted to get the text in line, you can drag by left-clicking up here in the top area. I could drag a ruler down. Now this honestly isn't going to do much good with the Lilybell font because the font is not supposed to all sit on the bottom line. But if you wanted to use a different font, that's how you could use the align or the rulers as an alignment tool. So let's just move this Y down a little bit, as I will save this file for you all, and you can find it under the files of the Facebook group. All right, I like the way that looks. So now let's go to find our weld feature. Remember to engage the drop-down arrow and hover your mouse over and you'll see weld. Perfect. So what's happened is in these areas, this is welded as one piece of vinyl or one unit. Let me undo this. Notice here, 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 and in the fourth area, what happens when I select weld. Also, did you notice that I no longer have to do the drop-down arrow because the last function that you use stays in that placeholder? All right, let's do it. Are you ready? Weld. Bam. I'm done. Now I'm going to fill it in with color, and we're going to transform this. So in the Properties window, you want to decide about how big your letters should be, and actually that's pretty good just like it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a little box around here for you guys in case you're not using a digital cutter that can view what's on your mat. So we have these two together. Now this is my cut file that I'm going to cut out of vinyl. So maybe I'm not sure what blade setting or the cut speed or any of that to put my digital cutter on. Well, the next step, once you've created your design, Salty, you're going to run it through something called Save to Cut. So let's click here. Now I'm going to select the brand of digital cutter that I'll be using, and we'll leave it at the Scan and Cut. And then I will select what I want to cut out, which is vinyl. Perfect. So the great thing about Save to Cut is this. You only have to know two things. What brand of cutter are you using? And if you're like I used to be, it might still be in the box. And the good news is the brand name probably hasn't rubbed off the box yet. And then you need to know what to cut. And I have that information in the PowerPoint. We're going to cut vinyl. Select Next. And now here's where the magic happens. Save to Cut is like having your personal digital cutting assistant, or me, Hope Yoder, sitting right next to you. So you're going to put your blade at 1.75, your speed at 3, your pressure at 1, and read carefully the application instructions. You're going to place paper side down and kiss cut, or only cut through the top layer. Leave the paper on the back. And here's an application video. So we'll go here for any of you who haven't used Save to Cut yet. We've actually filmed a video showing you how to cut vinyl. So I won't take a lot of time to show you this, but I'm talking about transfer tape here. And I'm showing you how to apply it to a surface here and scraping it on. So watch that video found in Save to Cut. Now next, I'm going to come here and select Finish, and let me get to my desktop to my Craft and Cut webinar. And let me find, what month are we in here? May. And let me create a folder that says May 2017, Salty. Now notice what happens here. Oops. I'll do another one here. Let's open it up. Now, because I said I had a Scan and Cut, it's going to give me the FCM file. So I'll leave this like that, and I'll just put Salty and save. And here we have Salty, a template that opens up. And what's great about this template is all those cut settings that we just went over, the blade, the cut speed, put it face down, face up, or right here. So you could print this and take it to your cutter to have all the settings right at your fingertips. Now, what if you don't have a scan and cut and you're going to retrieve these files? Super easy. Let's run this through one more time. And let's go through to the very end. And we'll put salty. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you the SVG salty file as well. So that way you'll have two. Perfect. And from there, that's how you create any design using TrueType fonts. Before we go back to hydro dipping and I finish showing you how to create your tumbler, let me remind you that there are some monogram templates. So if you didn't want to do salty, you could use monograms. They're super popular, always in fashion. So you've got all these different monograms. And I've done some other videos on monograms that you can watch later. Let's come back to my PowerPoint. Are you guys having fun so far? Oh, I hear a bunch of you saying, yes, Hope. So let's keep going. Hydro dipping tumblers. There's my salty that we just created. I showed you the material list and two things that you may not be familiar with, Mod Podge and Amazing Clearcast. Now, as a review, Weld font. We've just done that. So let's get this ball rolling. How do you hydro dip metal tumblers using ordinary products and a little bit of know-how? All right, I'm so glad you asked. Let's do this. Now, I don't expect you to remember any of this. Again, remember these files will be placed on my fan group. In fact, let me just show you. I think I have that open here. Let's go to the fan group over here. And so if you've not already joined our fan group, here it is. And we have a sew along going. And if you like to sew or shape lace, I have actually made 2 free videos for you on the sew along. So you can watch those at a different time. But right here, when you join the sew along, then you're on a computer, you're going to look at files, and you can only see this on a computer. And when you scroll down, right now we have 3 different free download files from past webinars. And so in a couple days, I'll make sure I post this there as well. Okie doke, you're going to take your cup, you're going to wash it to remove all the oils and dry it with something that's lint-free. And most of you, if you drink coffee and you have coffee filters, that is lint-free. Great way to dry it. You're going to use Embroidery Perfection tape to tape off the bottom of your cup and cut it with an X-Acto knife so you have a clear straight line. Now in the photographs I'm going to show you, I actually use painter's tape. And I'm going to tell you, I would not recommend that because the painter's tape didn't stick as well as the Embroidery Perfection tape. The painter's tape, you can have some paint seep under there. So look for the Embroidery Perfection tape at your local dealer. Now the lid. The lid is kind of a unique, easy way to do this. Is you're going to take that grocery produce bag, twist it, put the lid inside, twist it, and put it back on the cup before you hydro dip it. You're going to have your salty decal cut with tape on it. You're going to need a 2-gallon bucket. Protect your clothes. This is super messy. So if you have an old man's coat or even a raincoat, something you want to be wearing that, you want to have gloves. You're going to collect your spray paint. You need several different colors, including a base coat, which would be ivory or white. You need popsicle sticks, or if you have cable ties, or something that you can stir the paint with if you need to. You're going to have your Mod Podge and a little glitter, and so let's get going. So here is, well, me late at night out here. Jillian's filming us, and I had some old yucky clothes on, and I stuck a box outside of our back warehouse door, and you can see the painter's tape. Now, this is where I was saying I would not use painter's tape. I would use the Embroidery Perfection tape. And notice how right in this area, I have a very clean line where the tape is, and that's because I stuck my X-Acto knife right in this ridge to make sure the tape was a nice straight line. And then make sure you tape off the bottom completely. So spray this with a base coat. Now, if you're wondering, salty right here, we went ahead, we did the cup two ways, and we put salty underneath so we could have metal showing through, and that didn't really work very good, so just pretend you don't see that there. All right, so next thing, I've got gloves on, and I have my 2-gallon buckets. You don't want a 5-gallon bucket because it's going to take you a lot longer to do this. So your hardware store sells 2-gallon buckets. And I'm getting fairly close, and I'm just spraying the nozzle, the paint, right into the water, and here's what it looks like. Next, I'm going to take, at this point, if I go back, I have green paint, and then I've sprayed a little yellow, and then I sprayed pink. And notice when you spray it, you kind of get a tie-dye effect, or I really love Lily Pulitzer, and so to me, I pick colors that I liked, but when my tumbler was all done, I really had a nice Lily Pulitzer look going on. So I sprayed a little pink. Next, I added a little blue, and can you see all those bubbles? Well, let me tell you, they bounce way up on your clothes. So please protect your clothes. And you can see that just spraying the pink on the slide before, a lot of paint jumped back up onto the can. Now, I will tell you that Krylon, Krylon paint is your best choice. If you have somewhere that sells that, that's going to get less clumping than the paint that I used. All right, so there's the blue. And then I went back and added more pink and green and yellow. So I probably sprayed the pink 3 or 4 times, the blue 3 or 4 times. And here you can see after doing 2 tumblers, here's what my bucket looks like. And do you know what this looks like to me? How many of you go to an ice cream store? Superman ice cream is what my girls love to get. It's nothing but pure sugar, and this looks like Superman ice cream. All right, once I have it there, I'm going to go back, and I'm actually going to take my tumbler, and I dip it in on an angle, and I put the cup or the lid down first. So at a 45-degree angle, lid first, dip it down on an angle, and then immediately pull it back out of the water. And this is what it looks like. And you can see I've just pulled it out. I still have a little bit of water on this. Now you are going to get a textured effect. So this is not going to be a smooth, glassy finish. There's going to be some clumping of paint. Don't worry about that. That's what happens. It's just part of the process. So you can see that this paint, so I pulled it straight out and set it down. There's the lid, and that went in the water first. Now, after the water dries, you want to go in and over a garbage can with gloves on, remove the tape completely. So we removed it off the bottom, and now we're removing it off of the bottom edge of the cup. And that way you have a nice, clean demarcation of silver and the hydro-dipped enamel paint. The next step is if there were any areas, when I got done with this, there were some areas that I could see the metal through. Apparently there was some clumping, and I could see a little bit of metal in my cup, and I didn't like that. So Mod Podge, dishwasher safe Mod Podge, I took a foam brush and I lightly just painted one thin coat over the areas that needed to be covered, and then I sprinkled glitter and shook it off, let it dry. So even if you don't have holes or metal showing through the painted area, glitter, well, it's just a girl's best friend. Well, maybe diamonds are, but we'll go with glitter because glitter is super affordable and readily available. So you're going to let the tumbler completely dry at this point. And next, you're going to apply your transfer tape with your salty right on the cup wherever you want it. Now, right back here, do you see the metal salty? That's where we put the salty vinyl decal on the metal before we spray painted everything. And it was just really hard to get off. We thought it would look really cool. but I think we both agreed that we liked the vinyl going on after the paint. So here's my transfer tape. Apply the Salty, scrape it down, remove the paper, and then you're ready for the two-part epoxy resin. So when you use the resin, let me go back and show you what that looks like. So when you use this resin, you're going to follow the directions. It's a two-part epoxy. One box will make several, probably 10, 20 or more tumblers. So make sure you get the dishwasher safe version of that. So we have mixed that up at this point. Our tumbler was completely dry. The vinyl was applied. And then we took a foam brush and I put one layer. Oops, you know what I forgot? Now, once I've done this, remember the tape that I took off my tumbler? Down in the bottom, you can see the tape. We had to apply new tape because I don't want to get the two-part epoxy on this open metal area. Take a new Prodev spag and put your lid in there, twist it, and put it down inside again. So all the excess from the bag goes inside of the cup. You want to protect the inside surface and the bottom metal surface so we don't get epoxy. And then I put one complete coat of this epoxy resin on my tumbler. I let it dry, which was probably 24 hours. And I put a second coat, let it dry again, and put a third coat and let it dry again. So this is about a 3 or 4 day process. And then you can see how we have this beautiful 3D effect with the Salty, a little bit of glitter, a little something, something, and won't you look great at the beach this summer? That could be two meanings. They might think it means salty because you're at the beach. But if you have anybody younger in your life like I do, they're going to know that that means you're not sweet, you're salty. Now here's another inspiration on metal. I drink coffee like a Gilmore Girl. Now Amanda in our warehouse made this at our annual crafting Christmas party, and she made this for a couple girlfriends of hers who love to watch the Gilmore Girls. Now, I'll confess I've never seen an episode of that, but I thought it really turned out great. She just bought a metal tumbler, cut vinyl, used transfer tape, and stuck it on. How awesome is that? Now, let me just remind you to join the fan group. I'm going to give you that Salty design is going to be up there in the next 24 hours to 48 hours. And you will find that again by joining a fan group. Ask to join. We'll just make sure you're not a robot and you're a real person. And then we'll add you gladly to our group. And then from your computer, not a phone, not a tablet, you'll click on files and you can get the Salty file and all the previous webinar files. So this is a little bit shorter today. I hope you've enjoyed this hydro dipping. And when you guys make yours, please, please post pictures in our fan group. So until next time, happy crafting. I think we're taking a break in June because schedules did not allow another webinar, but I'll be posting in the fan group some fun things that I'm doing this summer. And we'll come back for another scheduled webinar in July.
Thank you, Hope. And we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll have this webinar available shortly for you to view in the next day or so if you want to rewatch it. Thanks, Hope.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.